All right, let's jump right in. We are about to talk about what might just be the biggest shakeup in how we buy and sell things since the internet itself. It's called Agentic Commerce, and it's poised to take our messy digital lives and make them simple.
To really get what this is all about, let's start with something we can all relate to. Something that's almost universally stressful. Moving. Just imagine you land that dream job, but it's on the other side of the country. That initial spark of excitement? Yeah, it gets buried fast under a mountain of logistics. You've got to find a new place, right? So you're bouncing between Zillow, Redfin, a dozen different websites. You're trying to sell your old couch on Facebook Marketplace while simultaneously hunting for good movers. Then there's the whole ordeal of finding new doctors, new schools for the kids. It's this crazy, frantic scramble across countless platforms, each with its own login you can't remember. It is, in a word, chaos. Okay, now just take a breath and imagine. Instead of all that, you could just give a single command to a personal AI agent, an agent that already knows your budget, your style, your family's needs, and he just handles it, all of it. That right there is the core promise of Agentic Commerce.
So, the big question is, how do we get from that stressful, chaotic mess to a future that's actually simple? Well, that's what we're going to break down first. We're talking about a massive shift from a world of fragmented, annoying digital chores to one where a single smart agent coordinates the whole experience.
At its heart, Agentic Commerce is really about outsourcing the hard work of shopping to an AI. Think of it like having your own personal chief of staff. It doesn't just search for things, it actually anticipates what you'll need next, it navigates through all the millions of options out there, and it even closes the deal for you. It's all about acting on your behalf. And this completely changes what it even means to be a customer. You know, for decades, brands have been obsessed with perfecting the online journey for humans. But as Becca Coggins from McKinsey says, in this new era, the consumer no longer travels alone. Their AI agent, this digital proxy, is the one doing the clicking and scrolling. In a very real sense, the algorithm becomes the customer.
So if the customer is changing, then the rules of the game have to change too, right? We're going to need a whole new playbook. And this isn't just about giving e-commerce a little facelift. We're talking about a fundamental rewiring of how buyers and sellers interact.
It basically boils down to three main ways your agent is going to get things done. The first is pretty straightforward, agent to site. Your agent just goes out and browses existing websites, just like you would, only 1,000,000 times faster. Then it gets a little more sci-fi with agent to agent. This is where your AI literally talks to a retailer's AI to negotiate a deal behind the scenes. And finally, you've got a brokered model. Think of something like an open table, but for AIs, that helps coordinate really complex jobs with lots of different vendors.
Now, you might be thinking this all sounds pretty far off, but this could happen incredibly fast. Let's put it in perspective. When e-commerce first started taking off around 1999, there were about 100 million people online. Today, we're looking at nearly 5.6 billion. This new AI layer is being built on a fully mature, super-connected internet, which means this shift could happen exponentially faster than the first one.
And whenever something moves this fast, at this kind of scale, you know the economic impact is going to be staggering. Which brings us to the money part of this, the trillion-dollar opportunity. We could be looking at a complete reshuffling of the deck for the entire retail industry. So get this. According to McKinsey, by 2030, the global opportunity for agentic commerce is projected to be between $3 and $5 trillion. I mean, just let that number sink in for a minute. Trillion. That's how much value could be flowing through AI agents working for us.
And if you think this is all just theory, well, the behavior is already changing. Among people who have actually used AI-powered search, 44% of them already say they prefer it to the old way of doing things. We are already getting comfortable letting the AI take the wheel. And that's why this quote from Lorena Yee is so critical. For any business out there, this is not a wait-and-see moment. The companies that start preparing now are the ones that will shape this future. The ones that don't, they risk becoming totally invisible to this new class of AI customers. But for this trillion-dollar future to actually happen, we have to solve one absolutely enormous challenge. And that brings us to the most important piece of the puzzle, building an architecture of trust. Because without it, none of this gets off the ground. It all really boils down to this one fundamental question. When you hand over not just a task, but the actual decision-making to an AI, who's really in control? When something goes wrong, who's responsible?
And there are three huge risks we have to figure out. First, there's systemic risk. A tiny error in one agent could ripple out and cause a massive chain reaction. Then, accountability. If your agent messes up, who's to blame? You, the AI developer, the store? It's a huge legal gray area. And finally, data ownership. Your agent will know everything about you. So who controls that data? Who protects it?
So building this trust requires a whole new framework. We need concepts like know your agent, kind of like how banks have know your customer rules. We absolutely have to keep humans in the loop. We need transparency so we can see why an agent made a decision. And of course, we have to secure all that data and govern this whole ecosystem responsibly. Trust has to be baked in from the very beginning.
Okay, so with this massive opportunity and these pretty serious challenges in mind, we come to our final question, and it's a very practical one. Are you agent ready? What should businesses be doing, like right now, to get ready for this?
The strategy really comes down to two things. You have to both innovate and renovate. Innovate means coming up with entirely new ways to engage customers that are designed for agents first. But you also have to renovate. You've got to upgrade your existing tech, your websites, your APIs, your payment systems, so these AI agents can plug in and work with you seamlessly.
And these are the conversations that need to be happening in every company right now. How do you get ahead of the curve? Do you build your own agent or partner with one of the big platforms? And here's the big one. What does brand loyalty even look like when your customer is an algorithm? The answers to these questions will define the next generation of winners and losers.
Ultimately, it all comes down to this one single paradigm-shifting idea. The very definition of a customer is changing. It's moving from a person browsing a website to an AI agent executing a command. And so every business has to ask itself a simple question. Are we ready to meet this new customer? Because they're coming.